Hello everyone and welcome back to Sudden Wealth. As you can see guys, I'm back in the castle. I'm actually quite happy. I was missing it. I haven't been here since like 17th of August, so I was really missing it. Thank you very much for keeping up with me over this time period, in that suboptimal condition. Maybe for the new viewers, in case you guys ask why are my videos so similar in the sense of the setups, etc. I'll tell you the truth. I have a full-time job and I have a family, a wife and a daughter, which means that I have very little time for YouTube. So I don't have the time for fancy editing, fancy thumbnails with the hands in my face, asking about the collapse of the world economy every 2 weeks. So this is what you get, and I'm very happy. We are approaching 1,700 subscribers in a little bit over a year, with very minimum production value, if you will, and very minimum, smokes and mirrors to try to lure you in. And I'm very happy to have a 96% plus like to dislike ratio, and for having such a strong and good community like yourselves. Now, let's go straight to it. Regarding the election, if you look at Polymarket, Trump has moved quite aggressively into the favorite. I think is very much stemmed from the fact that every time Kamala talks without a teleprompter is a complete disaster, even at friendly networks. So I do believe that things are looking more and more, are looking better and better. On that sense, the key question is, will he make it to the election? I kind of giggled, but to be honest, it's not a matter to laugh. It is, a reality that unfortunately we need to face. Now, straight to the markets. Stocks are selling off a little bit, gold as well, commodities in general. Once again, it's happening what we've discussed in this channel ad nauseum. The bond market is a bit unstable. We approached 100 on the TLT, which is a mix of 10 and 30-year-old bonds. And we've now pushed to 94 something. And the problem is that we are decreasing 1%, 1.5%, 0.5%. It's not a stable decline. You can have stable declines, but you cannot have big moves on the downside for the bond market. Neither you want, if you think about it, you also don't want crazy moves on the upside. Why? Usually when you have crazy moves on the upside is a risk-off trade. Is everybody selling the stocks and crypto and whatever and going into bonds because there's a massive recession or a massive crisis. So usually that's also not a good sign. So what you want is, typically you want bonds to steadily go up, but on a stable fashion. You don't want aggressive sell-offs and you don't want aggressive push-ups. And you guys know that we have a very unique take here in the channel, that the bond market dictates all the other markets. Although crypto is a little bit on the green side today, in my view, there's no way you can have a sustainable growth until the bonds stabilize. Now, they can be at lower levels, that's perfectly fine, but you cannot be moving forward with the bonds dropping aggressively day by day. With that, is there anything for concern at the moment? Not really. Obviously, there's always this lingering possibility of further escalation of conflicts in, you all know what I'm talking about. But even that has a diminished effect. Now, let me explain what I mean by that. You remember a certain disease going around in 2020, right? And in the beginning, every time you had bad news, stocks really tanked. After a while, you were getting more and more news, and the stocks tanked less and less. Same thing on the other side. When they discovered the cure for it, the first time it was a massive 7% rally or something. Then the second one was a 4.5% rally, and then a 2% rally, and after a while nobody cared. Same thing with inflation. Every time inflation was coming high, it was really bad on the stocks until nobody cares after a while. Same thing with conflicts. In the beginning, they are very important, and then any further escalation has lower and lower impact, obviously absent any kind of stuff like, dropping a similar thing that was dropped in 1945 in Japan, right? Anything absent that, of course, if they do that, then you can throw what I said out the window. But apart from that, I'm saying in normal course of these affairs, this is typically what you have. Now, as I've mentioned before, in the short term, this is quite negative. In the long term, it's actually quite good for risk assets because that just means more currency debasement. That's it. There's not a big, there's no point in me trying to create here some stories and try to link indicators with the moon cycle. No. If you expand the money supply, if you devalue your currency, anything priced in that currency becomes more valuable. Or the currency has lost more value. It depends on what you want to look at. It's the same phenomena. It depends if you're looking at the left side of the equation or the right side of the equation. It's the same thing. Now, if the Republicans do win, I do expect the Russell to play catch-up because it's more linked to the U.S. economy, in which it's public belief that under the Republicans that will do better, which means the Russell should do better, which means lower inflation, which means more money printing, which means now these garbage companies can go into the market and refinance at acceptable levels, which at the moment they can't. That's why they've been lagging so hard everything else. Now, Harry Dent was predicting, once again, another stock market crash in an interview that I've seen him recently. That I think is crash number 4 of this year. Obviously, none of it ever happens, and obviously never gets challenged on his track record, but he's great for views on YouTube. Now, the reason why I'm talking about him is because, unfortunately, he and Peter Schiff attract quite the attention by YouTube people interested in YouTube finance, particularly newcomers. Don't take my word for it. Don't follow what I'm saying. Check the track record of both of them. And by the way, you can, because both of them have funds. Harry Dent managed to launch 2 funds in the middle of the bull market, of the largest bull market in history, and got them delisted due to poor performance. And this current fund in Australia has already lost more than half of its assets under management. Peter Schiff is a bit more successful, but once again, garbage assets, actively managed, high fees, high capital gains tax, the whole 9 yards, but he talks increasingly with more arrogance, which that's how you succeed on YouTube. You need to be wrong consistently and just be even more arrogant and even more more outrageous every single time, and your following will increase and you'll become a major YouTube success. Great formula. Now, moving to crypto, I was actually having a look at how October tends to be in election years. And actually, at least in 2016 and 2020, I must admit I didn't check 2012, but 2016 and 2020, the first week of October tends to be quite lackluster, quite boring, actually. A little bit of sell-off, a little bit of sideways, depends on which exact day you look at. And then after the first week, we tend to resume the uptrend that everybody knows Q4 for being such a good quarter for crypto. Will it repeat? I would say that's likely. As you guys know, we predict here in the channel Bitcoin above 80K in the second half of November. Now, this is very important. We predicted this when we had extreme fear in the market, when everybody was predicting 40K Bitcoin, when everybody was predicting, because of the Japanese carry trade, you remember that? Everybody was predicting 30K Bitcoin. And we came here and we said 80K second half of November. We'll see. We'll see if I'm right. We've been having quite the interesting predictions in this channel that actually ended up coming true. But as you guys know, I'm a bit more of a contrarian investor as well. So one of the things that I really like is all the big influencers can only talk about 2 cryptos. Solana, and Sui. Great. Perfect. All of them have ditched Ethereum. Ethereum is finished, according to all of them, which is great. That's what you need for Ethereum to go up. You see? You need to catch all of these people off guard, right? You've heard the crypto banter guy, right? He's off of all his Ethereum. He ended his toxic or abusive relationship with Ethereum, and he sold everything, right? I don't know if he did or not, because these people, they say, oh, I sold everything, but then a week after, the whole thing pumps, and all of a sudden they're super happy, like they were participating in the increase. So who knows? He says he sold. Anybody, you take your own. I mean, I don't trust anybody in crypto. So maybe I give a little bit of trust to Richard Hart, but apart from him, if you, how to say this, if you don't believe anybody in crypto when they talk about their finances, you will do incredibly well, or most of the time you'll be very accurate. You see, for example, when I disclosed my coins, I came here and I talked about them. For example, Andy at 1.6 million market cap, Hoppy at $1 million market cap after being like 6 weeks in the freaking range between 800K and 2 million, not leaving that for like 6 weeks. Pulse Chain, PulseX, etc. When I came here during the SEC week, so I talk about the coins now, right, before the massive, because I could just keep quiet, right, just wait around. For example, in the case of Andy, and came, oh, actually, I got in the coin, at 1.5 million, and now it's 150 million. Look at me, I'm a genius. No, I said beforehand, not after it happened. Then it's very easy. Either you have the conviction and you go in cheap, like Somi says, go cheap, or you don't. And sometimes it will go very well, sometimes it will go horribly wrong, but that's a matter of how you position. So I do believe that the Richard Hart ecosystem will outperform the majority of coins. That's another one that has been completely ignored, despite the recent, 5x in Pumping X, the almost doubling of PulseX, or actually doubling of PulseX. So everybody's not paying attention, which is great. Like, some people are very pissed about it. You shouldn't. By the time that Discover Crypto and Crypto Banter and Ivan on Tech and whoever is talking non-stop about these coins, or talking at least on a daily basis, that probably means you're closer to the top than to the bottom. So I do believe that the ecosystem will do well, including the meme coins in the ecosystem. I mean, I think they have a lot of strong advantages that others don't, and you guys know my position. I've been talking about it for a lot of time, and actually, even people that didn't believe or that disagree with me, and by the way, I do appreciate that you disagree with me. You see, I'm not here trying to build a cult of followers and trying to sell you stuff so you follow everything that I do. I couldn't care less. I mean, if you don't want to, I am the same if you decide to invest or not. I'm here for one purpose only: broadcast my journey from middle class to hopefully financial independence within 2 years. That's it. Not here trying to guide you through the forest or anything like that, or to create a religion. That's not for me. You have a lot of people who do that. If you want courses and masterminds and private labs and private trades and whatever, you have 1,000 people on YouTube for you to have fun. That's not me. That's why I don't charge anything. I don't even collect ad revenue. I have turned it on because it seems to distribute my videos a little bit better, but I purposely didn't input certain data there, so I don't get paid. I actually don't get paid by YouTube. Now, I wouldn't be paid that much, but I do it on purpose, so nobody can ever accuse me of leveraging YouTube to live off my following or anything like that. I've collected a total of 0 cents from my channel. That's why the message that I give here, that's why the bluntness that I say a few things, it's so, sometimes a bit shocking for the audience, because, example, Bitcoin touched 59, 60K, right? And every channel was coming with, oh my God, these theories and the escalation in the Middle East and this and that and yet. No, we retested the 50-day moving average on Bitcoin. That's it. That's all we've done. But you see, that's boring. That doesn't allow me to stay here and talk about it for 30 minutes, coming up with all sorts of conspiracy theories to sell you that I'm seeing something in the stars to justify all of this. No, we just retested the 50-day and we went straight back up, or the 21 EMA. That's all we've done. But you see, that's boring. That doesn't sell very well. Obviously, for a person who lives off YouTube, you need to window dress this, maybe drop here a few screens, do a presentation, trace this down to the Great Depression, create a correlation between the Great Depression and the Napoleonic Wars. I mean, whatever. Like, create a big narrative to try to convince you that I'm such a big genius that I've managed to find a connection between things that happened 500 years ago and the price of Bitcoin in the first week of October 2024. Obviously, that's all BS. But in any case, you see the drill, right? And hopefully you now understand that these channels are not here to help you. These channels are here to make you guys their passive income. Very important. But in any case, ending on a positive note, I did decide to throw a lottery play on 7G, which is the meme coin developed by Crypto7, and it's currently at pre-sale stage. So I deployed a little bit over $1,000. I did it using a separate wallet. As you guys know, my lottery tickets wallets never touch my main retirement coins wallets. Why? Because although I think that he seems to be a good actor in the sense of being a good person in the crypto space, as I've just said in the beginning of this video, I don't put my hands on fire for anybody in crypto, and I'm not going to endorse anybody. I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to try, see what happens. Maybe it does very well. As you guys know, I usually have certain price targets in which I start to remove my principal. Why? Because I like to be in these things risk-free. Then I can be very relaxed. That happened, for example, with Andy. When Andy went from 320 million to 48 million, that's an 85% drop. But I already took my principal and a lot of profit out, so I couldn't care less. I saw people on the Telegram like going completely ballistic and completely depressed, and I'm relaxed the whole time because I've already done very, very well. That's my principle. Now you guys can say, oh, but if you hold all your coins, you could have made another 5x. I mean, sure, and I could have lost all my money or 75% of it as well, right? So these things go hand in hand. It's up to you. I mean, that's what I do. Once again, I'm not here trying to convince you of anything. That's what I'm doing. So as you guys know, I'm in 7G. 7G, I'm telling you, it's in the pre-sale phase. I just got in today. And that's it. Am I advising you to do the same? Am I suggesting you should do the same? No. To me, it's a risk. It's a reward worth the risk. So the risk-reward ratio to me makes sense. If I lose a little bit over $1,000, will I go broke? No. Will I live under the bridge? No. Will I need to sell the house to pay off for my huge gamble? No. What if it does 100x? Well, that's great. Just made 100K. Right? Perfect. Very happy. That's the science of lottery tickets. You don't need to get them all correct, but if you do get a few of them correct, like I did with Andy and Hoppy, then those already pay the entire thing. And also Matt from Matt Fury on Ethereum is also now finally in the green for me as well. My average was $1.7 million market cap. It's now at 2.1 or so. So most Pika, I made some money. Pika Moon on Ethereum, I made some money as well. Bird Dog, I did a 14x on Ethereum. And this is actually great because some of my lottery tickets on Ethereum are not really pumping yet because Ethereum has not pumped. And if Ethereum has not pumped, then Pulsion has not pumped. So I do see a lot of potential still going forward. Although the cycle started very well for me, I do still see some great movements in the future. Once again, depending on the results of the election, you can either have a 2020, 2021 kind of cycle like we did if Miss Harris wins, or we can have a more like a 2016-17 cycle if Trump wins. We'll see. Who knows? With that, guys, I just wanted to leave it there. Don't forget, I'm not here trying to convince you of anything, just disclosing my information. Look, you see, I'm telling you right now. So if 7G does very well, you guys know that I talked about it during the pre-sale phase, and you guys know that I'm positioned for it. If it goes to zero, you can go to the comment section and say, ha, you're an idiot. You lost $1,000. You are clueless, you know nothing. And the whole nice things that people typically say to each other on YouTube. I welcome both of it. And with that, guys, thank you very much. I'm really happy to be back here at the castle. Now a married man, although I considered myself already married man, but now it's official. And thank you very much for, once again, keeping up with me. If you do enjoy the content, don't forget, drop that like and subscribe. Greatly helps the channel. And this, as you know, guys, it's the only thing that I ask. And with that, I leave you be. I'll catch you in the next one. And have a great day.